One of the greatest problems that managers have, whether they're first-line supervisors or chairman of the board, is staying in touch with their own organization. See, as organizations become larger, as people become more specialized, as they become smarter than we are, it gets harder and harder to stay on top of what's going on. And there's a tendency for management and the rest of the organization to kind of move apart from each other, as if somehow we in management had little to do with the process. A few years ago, I did some research to find out how chief executive officers stay in touch with their organizations. It turned out to be the easiest research that I ever did. In fact, the article I wrote, entitled Managing by Wandering Around, which ended up in the Wall Street Journal, was actually written by the 3 chief executives that I dealt with. I simply asked them, what do you do? How do you stay in touch? Because these people were known for being very effective chief executives. It turned out all they did was wander around. They were constantly out of their offices. They were constantly interrupting and being interrupted as they went around to every level of the organization, periodically, to find out what was going on. What did they do? And what should you do when you use MBWA? Get out of your office and meet with people. Be seen and see them at the same time. Share information. Find out what's on their minds. Give them feedback. Catch them doing something right. And above all, when you use MBWA, constantly focus on problems of productivity and quality and performance. What's getting in the way? How can you and the organization help them be more effective? Focus on problems, not personalities. Let's take a look at one manager who tries to do this and see what some of the issues are that she runs into when she tries to practice MBWA.
Can you send me a copy of the office as soon as you have it?
I wonder what Susan is doing here. Must be that problem with accounting. I wish she would just stay out of it and let me take care of it myself. She's probably going to come over here and grill me about what went wrong.
All right, Steve, I understand there's a problem with accounting, yes or no? Just answer the question.
And then once I've confessed, she'll probably tell me exactly how she would handle it.
Here's what you should do. Get the records for last quarter and check that report that I prepared for the meeting last week that you and I went to.
Here she comes. Uh-oh, I wonder if she saw me leaving early yesterday. Well, if it's a fight she wants, it's a fight she'll get. I've had it up to here with her.
Hi, Steve. You got a minute?
Hi. What's the problem?
There's no problem. I've just been so busy with the annual report that I haven't been able to stay in touch with what's going on around here. But I just got your copy of the marketing plan, and I wanted to tell you what I thought.
Yeah, well, what'd you think?
Oh, it's terrific. I had no idea you'd gotten so far with the projections.
It's just a rough draft.
Well, rough draft or not, it makes me feel a whole lot better to see it taking some shape.
Thanks for letting me know.
I want to make this a top priority. Is there anything that I can do to help you out?
What do you mean?
I just want to do whatever I can to keep you free to work on this project.
Well, there's this problem with accounting. I should take care of it myself.
Well, that's up to you. But just remember, I'm willing to help if you need me. Now think about it. If there's trouble with accounting, I'd rather hear about it from you before they start calling me. And like I said, whatever I can do to keep you rolling on this will go on the top of my list. So just let me know. And thank you for sending me the copy so quickly. I'll see you later.
See you later. And, thanks.
One of the things that often happens when you manage by wandering around is that you'll often find the need to bring together an ad hoc problem-solving team. The reason that happens so often is you're finally out there where the action is and where the problems are, probably just as they're starting to burn. And when you want to put that fire out, there are some steps you have to keep in mind. First of all, whether you're managing individuals or a group, the process is the same. Get your folks together and describe the situation, describe the problem as you see it. State the facts as you know them. What exactly is the problem? That's what you're trying to get at. But make sure you keep the ownership of that problem down there where it belongs. You've got to get input and encourage opinions right away. Brainstorm for solutions on the spot and clarify responsibilities after those solutions and recommendations emerge. And before anybody leaves, make sure you summarize what happened and where you have to go.
Larry, what are you doing up here?
Oh, nothing in particular, just trying to stay in touch with things.
No, really, is there some kind of problem? Something I'm not aware of?
Come on, Alan. I just think it's important for me as lab chief and as one of the managers of this hospital to get out of the office once in a while, see what's going on. Don't you agree?
Of course.
Good. Then let go of my sleeve.
Sorry.
Thank you. See you later.
See you.
Oh, there you are.
Good morning.
Speak for yourself. My morning is turning into a disaster. I need the lab results for Mrs. Berenson.
I know.
Look, I don't want excuses. This is a hospital, not a pet shop. Please, we're treating human beings here, and the lab results have to be in on time. It's always the same story with your floor. Please, see if you can get your act together, okay?
Imagine him talking to me that way. Pet shop. Somebody ought to put him in a pet shop.
Hi, Sally.
Look, Reynolds is giving me a hard time about not getting his lab results on time. I want you to get those urine samples into the lab on time.
Of course, but there seems to be some
Just
kind of
do it. I don't want any excuses. This is a hospital. We're not dealing with excuses. And call the lab and find out what's happened to Mrs. Berenson's urine samples. Got it?
Yeah, I think I can handle that.
Hi, machine out of order?
Yep, like everything else around here.
What?
Sorry, it's just been a lousy day.
What's the problem?
You really want to know?
Sure.
It's those idiots in the lab. We send the samples in on time, and 9 times out of 10 the results are late. And then the doctors start giving us a hard time. It's just a big mess. Oh, are you a doctor?
No, Larry Simmons. I'm chief of the lab.
Barbara Rowlands, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Listen, is there a specific report you need right away?
Mrs. Berenson. She's Reynolds' patient, and he's been waiting for the results all day.
Was it sent in on time?
It sure was.
Just a second. Hi, Tom. Could you check and see if you have the results for Mrs. Berenson? 3rd floor. Reynolds. Great. Could you bring them here to 3 West? No, I want you to bring them yourself. I'll explain it to you when you get here. Thank you.
Oh, Barbara, I'd like to apologize. Oh, Mr. Simmons, I see Barbara's gone right to the top with our lab problem.
No, the top came to me.
Well, I've got to be honest with you. Our lab results are consistently late. Now, don't ask me if we get our samples in on time. I have checked with everyone on the floor. The problem is not with our people.
Here are the Berenson results. What is this, an ambush? Quick, circle the wagons.
Tom, this is Sally Newman and Barbara Rowlands.
We've met.
I know you're all busy, but could we quickly figure out what the problem is?
The problem is we're not getting our results on time, and we need them on time.
Because you don't get them in on time.
Now, that's just not true, Tom.
It is true. Your floor is always the last one, and then you're almost always late. I try to get them done anyway, but it's not fair to expect special treatment day after day.
That's ridiculous. You're blaming us for your incompetence.
Incompetence? Who
Let's
are you-
calm down. Let's start with the facts. Sally, what time do you get the morning samples in by?
1 o'clock, just when they're supposed to be in.
What is this, a joke? They're supposed to be in by 11.
Not according to my book.
Well, in my book it says all samples in by 11.
Seems our standards are 2 hours apart.
Oh, no wonder your floor is always 2 hours late.
No, not late, Tom. It just seems there's been some sort of misunderstanding. Sally, is it possible for your floor to conform to the 11 o'clock deadline?
I don't see why we should change the way we do things.
Look, obviously the whole problem has been one of miscommunication. I think it makes sense for you to start talking to each other to see if you can find some sort of solution. Let's solve the problem right here, okay? Any ideas?
Well, you know, I was thinking, if the nurses on the ward...
Okay, that's a good compromise. Let's sum up and clarify who's going to follow through on these ideas now. Tom, you said you could live with the 1 o'clock deadline, right?
Right.
And Sally, you agreed that you could give Tom some early warning if there are extra samples coming down to the lab, right?
Right, that's only fair.
Excuse me?
Mrs. Berenson, what are you doing here?
I was wondering if you got the results from the tests yet.
I don't know, Ernst. Sometimes I'm ready to throw in the towel. People with all their problems and egos. You got to be a certified psychologist nowadays. You used to make it look so easy.
Excuse me, Jim, are you talking to someone?
Yeah, I was talking to Ernst. Best boss I ever had.
Ernst Mertweiler, the one they used to call the hangman.
Oh, he was tough. But you always knew where you were with Ernst.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Bill Henson just called to say he's running a few minutes late.
Good.
Shall I send him right in when he gets here?
Tell him I've got amnesia, and if he doesn't believe you, then send him in.
Right.
I'll take this fellow Henson. He's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. He was driving me crazy because I wouldn't let him make a presentation. So I give him a shot, and he screws up.
So fire him.
Well, I can't do that. He's too good at all the other things he does.
Then stop bellyaching. Take charge of the situation. I hope you haven't become a bald-headed bowl of jello after everything I taught you.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
First of all, sit up straight and pay attention. Now, the first thing you do is figure out some way of nailing down the problem. Get him to help you figure out what the problem is. Then you talk about solving it. Give him clear feedback on how you see the situation and listen to his perspective. Then you renegotiate your goals together. Now, if you can't do that, you don't deserve to have my picture on this desk.
Thanks, Ernst. You know, I'll bet that wherever you are today, you must be doing one hell of a job. Let me rephrase that.
Sorry, I'm late, Jim. Oh,
hi, Bill.
Am I interrupting you?
No. Please, have a seat. Thanks for coming by. I just wanted to talk with you about our presentation last week.
It was a disaster, and we both know that.
It wasn't a disaster. We got the order. I just think we both felt that it didn't go as well as it might have. You know what the problem was?
Well, first of all, I didn't think it would take so long to get all the overheads and slides together.
Yeah, that sort of thing always does tend to take a lot of time. How much time did you allow?
Well, by the time I had everything ready, we only had 2 days left. And then, there was a problem with getting the information on our previous bid.
What did you do about it? That's always a potential delay.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I've been meaning to take that course for a long time. Do you really think you can get the company to pay for it?
Well, I think it's worth a try. Give me a week to look into it. Okay, are we all clear on where we go from here as far as assisting Ralph at the trade show?
Yeah, I like that idea.
Well, I think you can learn a lot from him. And I think we're both being a little more realistic this time around. Look, why don't we go over the whole plan next week? And after I've talked with Ralph, and I'll let you know about the tuition, too.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, Bill.
Thanks a lot.
Don't thank me.
All right, now that we've got that out of the way, I want to talk to you about those sales figures last quarter. What are you running around here, a country club?
No.